I am no scholar. Oh, I am academically challenged. But I never found that to be a burden. Remembering Father Tim Harris from Dingle. He was for 45 years a spiritual guru here in Dalgan. A very severe man. And he used to talk about the different groups of religious, and the Jesuits and the Dominicans. And he kind of put into perspective, he talked about furniture. And he says, he says, the Jesuits and the Dominicans, they're polished mahogany. Very classic, polished mahogany furniture. Now then, the Columbans. The Columbans are plain white deal table. Deal or dale, there's no dale table. You know, plain but functional. And this book too is, you know, plain but functional. But this world will be faithful to that motto. Now, how did I ever write those histories? Because I'm no historian, no scholar at all. Sister Elise Tierney, who was a Jesuit, who was an editor with the Jesuit publications. She met Tommy Murphy somewhere, and she said, I would like to commission a history of the Columbus, 1 volume, in Irish. So he came to me, and I said, I'll have a bash. So I began writing, and when the Columbans heard about this, they came to congratulate me on my good fortune. And the gist of it was, Murph, you have fallen on your feet again. You have a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year research deal there. You go to the Philippines, 6 months at least, 6 months research. Japan, 3 months. Peru, 3 months. Chile, 3 months. Everything, and then a big kind of a pilgrimage to deepest China in the end of it. And it will take you about 4 or 5 years to do that. And the Columbus will pay you. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm on promotion, so money is important. I said, I will not spend 1 Columban penny on this effort. I will do it myself, and okay, it will be poorer as a result because of that, but that's the way it was going to be. But luckily, Dinny Monaghan in Korea, he just bound all copies of the Far East from 1918 to 2005. They were all bound. So I said, there's my source now. And I used, that was my only source, and the computer, of course, but the internet. Without the internet, where would we be? So, what went forth then when that was being done? Some guy said, he says, do you know, he says, Murph there is writing the history of the Columbans without leaving his room. And there was guffaws around the place. Yeah, Murph is down there on the 3rd floor writing the history of the Columbans. China, you name it, talking there from. So that was kind of a topic, a frivolous topic for entertainment for the guys. Then as I was going from country to country, I sent the email attachments to every region, to different guides along the way. And the response was fantastic and unusual. The guys who answered and the guys who didn't answer. Now, for example, in the Philippines, just 2 guys, Colin McKeating and P.T. O'Neill, you know, they gave fantastic stuff that got back to me. You were wrong there, this should be done, this should be said this way and everything else. In Japan, Eamon Horgan, Seamus Cullen, and the late Jerry Griffin. Brazil, Sir Lovetier, and in China too. Pakistan, Jim Fleming, the late Tom O'Hanlon from Tarbert, Thomas King, Finbar Maxwell. Taiwan, Jerry Neal and Neil McGill. That's a short list of the guys who came to help me. And the corrective critiquing this and that. Then it was kind of polished prose in the end, kind of. Now, why did I translate? As Cyril said, Cyril's review in the Columban Intercom was such that he says this should be translated for our students, international students. We have 31 students all over the world, and they get this book to read it, and they will find out about the Columbans, what they're doing, what they have done. And then, for the reason would be people who could not read Irish. So I had a bash at translating. It was a very daunting and seemingly impossible task, because English is not mine. English is not mine. It's a second language to me yet. So translating there are words and phrases that are so heavily grounded in one culture that they are almost impossible to translate into the terms of another culture. Thus, the problem is when to paraphrase, when to use the nearest equivalent, when to coin a new word by translating literally, or when to just transcribe. Take, for example, the Irish word middle. Now, what's the English for middle? You could be searching a long time so that they use the word middle. In Korea, the word for nunchi is very hard to translate into English or any other language. In Japan, kimochi is the keyboard in Korea, kimochi. So these are all words, and doing that, it kind of, how do I translate that phrase that'll be fresh and lively, because there are different kinds of translation, word for word, literal, faithful, free, or communicative, that you can communicate the same message in different words that has been in the original sentence or paragraphs. Now, what's in this book? As Cyril told you, this book is one version, only one version, of how Columbans began to adopt their ways of doing mission after the council. There have been particular situations that needed an urgent response, and how with extraordinary creativity the Columbans responded to that need. So this is just a panoramic view illustrated with a selection of individual stories. About every country has about 5 or 4 or 5 major stories that illustrate the panoramic view of what happened to mission in Korea, or in the Columban mission during the past 50 years. So, I would like to thank those who made this occasion possible. To give names would be dangerous, because I always would forget something, but it starts on the top here in this region, all the way down to that with the director and the vice director and the staff here and the staff in the kitchen, a very important place where you'll be going at 12:30. The food here is, and the desserts are out of mind-boggling. So thank everybody, God bless you, and who knows, we might be here again.